what is this incredibly overpowering sweet scent? It smells like flowers. Uncle Bad, is this it? Isn't that the good, the bad, and K over there? It looks like she managed to escape the bailiff. No, that's not quite it. Too bad. It's so pretty. I think you're still a bit too young to be wearing that. Perfume? Anyone can wear perfume. Since you found it, I guess I can let you keep it. Thanks, I'll treasure it as always. Those two seem to get along rather well. Oh, here. I got something else for you. Yay, thank you, Uncle Bad. Earlier, she's eating it? I ate one of these. You have to give one to Gumshoe. Gummy. Oh, you mean Gumshoe? She just said, don't take things from strangers. He was trying to be nice to me because I was going to get in trouble. And then he got in trouble because he lied to protect me. Gummy. I know he didn't kill Daddy. I know it too. Because I played game 3. And the sequel to this game. I'm not crying. Okay. Oh, it's the mister from before and the lady too. Do you think it would be a good idea to go home for the time being? You're not involved in the investigation, so it's for the best if you do. Actually, I'm Uncle Bad's assistant. So I'm related to the investigation. Is that so, Detective Bad? Yeah, I guess. Damn, bro. You got a soft heart. You're just scolding us like kids to not mess up the crime scene. And now you let this child run free? Why? Yeah, she's 13. How old is... Right. She's 10 years old. Francisca is 13. They're 3 years apart. They're both fucking kids. You also had a few things she wanted to look into. Got a problem with that? I don't have a problem with that, but I am curious as to what Miss Yu is looking into. Uncle Bad, I'm gonna go look somewhere else now, okay? Alright, I'm counting on you. That's right. Hey, mister. Yes, what is it? I know Gummy isn't really a bad guy. I mean it. So please, find the real bad guy, okay? Got it. I won't forgive whoever did this. But in the absence of the proof of his testimony and the evidence, there's no one else who could be the true culprit other than Detective Gumshoe. She wandered off while I was pondering. Incredibly strong scented herbal tea. I fear that more than being relaxing, the scent may make one a bit heady instead. You put in a special request for that. No wonder she's so violent. She's been drinking this stuff the whole time. Neither one should be allowed to comment on this particular topic ever. Detective Ed, what exactly was Kay searching for? Nothing that concerns you, boy. Oh. I suppose it has something to do with Kay? It does, because she's Faraday's daughter. Anyway, hurry up and get to the point. I don't have time to waste. It sounds like you'd rather be left alone. I also want to confirm with you once again. I don't have anything to say to you. Be that as it may, we still have questions that we need answers to. Now, first of all, who is the overpowering smell? What is the overpowering smell that is permeating this room? Upon entering this room, I thought I was going to suffocate. It's that ultra strong perfume Yu wears. She spilled some of it. I was having a bad time of it myself. I didn't think twice and opened the window. But that smell's still here. Perfume, huh? So the sweet scent in the air is perfume. Well, it's giving off quite a stench. I bet it's some cheap no-name brand. She said, It's a famous brand from overseas. It's a knockoff. Yes, definitely a knockoff. No disrespect, but she forced one of those bottles on me. Here, little girl, you can have it. I was born for a much more expensive and refined perfume. However, seeing as how you just happen to have spare, I suppose I'll take it. Now, is that true? You will fall into this bottle without fail. Why can't she ever be honest about what her wants? Perfume given to Bad by you. Why is this important? That seems so random to just add it to my evidence. Now we have the perfume Miss Yu wears, just fantastic. Is that all you wanted to talk about? If so, I'm going back to investigation. Actually, I still have a few other things I wish to inquire about. Sure. During the recess. So you're in this room the entire recess? This is lobby number 1, right? Like I said, I made a call to the precinct to get that big lug down here. But other than that, I was waiting for the recess to end in here. At least your story is consistent. Earlier you stated that you were in this lobby with Miss Yu. Yeah, I ran into her in the hallway. She said she wanted to talk to me about something, so we came in here. Then what you're saying is that until Detective Gumshoe's arrival, you and Miss Yu were in 2 different locations. Guess I am. Interesting. Speaking of that, lawyer, she seems to have a great dislike for you. Let's see, Miss Yu is the sister of the victim of the KG8 incident. And as I recall, Detective Bad was the lead detective on the case. I wonder if the reason for her disdain isn't simply because you failed to guard Cece, but because you were the lead detective on the case. You knew. I also know that today's trial involving the Kodopian embassy staff member is being referred to as the second KG8 incident. Now then, Detective, I believe it's time you were honest with me and told me the truth behind your relationship with Miss Yu and Mr. Faraday in the KG8 incident. If you already know that much, I guess it'd be right to tell you. Now then, I'd like to ask you a few questions about the KG8 incident. It's not exactly a happy story. Other than the people who were directly involved, you two will be the first to hear what I'm about to tell. The honest truth behind the KG8 incident. Faraday, you, and I, as you already know, we 3 were involved with the KG8 incident. Faraday and I were originally on the trail of a smuggling ring. You mean the smuggling case involving one of the Enmano Group's secretaries? That trial was just a front. A facade. Yeah, but the case became tainted, all because the witnesses were going to testify about the Enmano Group's ties to the smuggling ring. CCU was killed. Then what came of the secretary who was arrested? His name was Colin Devourer. To be honest, the guy didn't know a thing about the smuggling ring, but he confessed to knowing about it anyway. Devourer was probably being intimidated by the big boss man, just another scapegoat. A Mano. He can't seriously mean Ernest Mano. That can't be right. It's probably just Detective Bad's personal hypothesis. What is he trying to do, suspecting Mr. Amano of being involved with the smuggling? I suppose it would have been quite difficult to secure an acquittal after he confessed, but the man who killed CCU, Manny Cochin, was a completely different person. But since he's already been acquitted once of her murder, Mr. Faraday, how could you have let him go? If I remember correctly, I hear that Mr. Faraday had an important piece of evidence stolen from him. That wasn't Faraday's fault. It was mine. I wasn't vigilant enough. Faraday, Cece, I was supposed to protect them both. Miss Yu did mention that as well. And how Detective Bad was supposed to guard her sister. Right, how many years ago was this? How many years ago? 3, maybe? But even I, who was supposed to protect them, I fell into their trap. What kind of trap? The holes in this jacket are a testament to that trap. You got shot there? Right here? How did it make this hole? But it didn't go through, like it hit him here, and it went through the collar, but it didn't go through the shirt. How did that happen? You mean you were fired upon? You were shot that many times in one gunfight? That doesn't make sense. How does the hole go through the first layer of the clothes, but not the second layer? Right here. That's bullshit. I smell bullshit. You made those holes. You hole punched it. Only about half of these are from that case, but the reason I continue to wear this jacket is to remind myself. One of the lessons I learned from the KG-8 incident. I see. So does it mean he has bullet holes in his body too? Or bullet scars? I couldn't protect CCU, and the suspect was not found not guilty. We had hit a brick wall, as far as the law was concerned, and that's when she came to the courtroom, the victim's sister. That's when I first met Callisto Yu. About when you first met Miss Yu, it was on the day of the verdict of the KG-8 incident was handed down, was it not? Yes, Faraday and I, we apologized to her from the bottom of our hearts. And it was all we could do. But just saying you're sorry won't bring my sister back, she said. And then she gave me a hard slap across the face. Well, she certainly had a lot of self-control to stop at just a slap. If it was me, not even 100 lashes would be punishment enough. I suppose not. You said it herself, that she never wanted to see either of us ever again. And now you're working with her. But after that, you've seen her many times over, correct? Yeah. Faraday and I, even after the KG-8 incident had come to a close, we continued to hunt down the smuggling ring and got involved in a variety of cases, but it was of no use. We cracked so many different cases, but the result was always the same. We couldn't find the real mastermind behind the ring. Is the ring really that big? It was in the pursuit of the ring that we met you once again. It was during another trial related to the smuggling ring. Faraday was the prosecutor and I was the lead detective, and took to the witness stand. She appeared out of the blue as the defense attorney. Her client was related to the smuggling ring, and she was defending them? Yeah. Yu was pursuing the ring as best as she could as a lawyer. I think she defended Rel this time for the same reason. Come to think of it, Miss Yu did say something to the same effect. Phew. I have my own agenda. Dude, I'm still on the hunt for leads regarding the KG-8 incident, alright? And for that, you have not a single qualm about defending a known killer? Don't put words in my mouth. I said no such thing. Wait, go back. So she just wanted to get involved, right? That's why she was defending Rel. She wanted to be involved with whatever this ring was. The only way I had to get close to Mr. Rel was to be his lawyer. Yep, there we go. I had no intention of proving. So you were just gonna lose the defense? You were gonna purposely lose, right? So don't you dare I suggest I was going to. It doesn't matter what her reason is. Helping a criminal is just despicable. So naive, little girl. I could have stolen this lollipop from you. That's how naive you are. How dare you insult the daughter of a Von Karma? Just Just like us, you felt that she had hit the limit of what the law could do. That's all. The law is merely a tool. There's no limit to it, only the skill of a craftsman. You two are still too young, but one day you'll know what I mean. But enough sidetracking. What matters is that we met you again in pursuit of the smuggling ring. That's all. So, what was your relation to Mr. Faraday? You even seem to know Kay fairly well. I met him when he was a rookie prosecutor, known him ever since. And Kay, I've known her since the day she was born. Faraday and we cracked quite a few cases together. But no progress at all in the Yatagarasu case. Did we touch a nerve? I only have one thing to say to you. No one knew more about the Yatagarasu than me and Faraday. That's why I was called upon to testify in today's trial, to prove that Rel was not the real Yatagarasu, which I would have done if he hadn't turned around and accused Faraday. After the accusation, I was asked to testify, but this time to prove or disprove the accusation. But I guess I won't be doing that either. I sense that there's more to the statement than meets the eye. Perhaps I'm more digging? Yatagarasu. You claim to know much about the Yatagarasu. Would you care to share what you know with me? What you two should be looking for right now is proof of murderous intent towards Faraday and Rel. I agree, which is exactly why I'm asking you about the Yatagarasu. What? The KG incident and the second KG incident. Both of these cases are tied to the smuggling ring, and in both of these cases the witness was to testify about the ring was murdered. However, there is one point in which they differ, and that is the presence or absence of the great thief Yatagarasu. Mr. Rel claimed to be the Yatagarasu. However, in the middle of the trial, he suddenly declared Mr. Faraday to be the real Yatagarasu. Then, during recess, they were both killed. Don't you find that to be the least odd? Miles Edgeworth, stop beating around the bush and just spit it out already. I believe that there must be a reason that the two men suspected of being the Yatagarasu were both killed at the same time. A reason, huh? And so, in order to catch Mr. Faraday's and Mr. Rel's cold-blooded killer, I feel the need to learn as much as they can about the Yatagarasu, if it will help you solve this case. Now, I'll tell you the reason why we never caught the Yatagarasu. What was a sudden outburst for? You almost made me whip you by accident. It's always me, man. There are three main reasons why the Yatagarasu will always be one step ahead. First, the Yatagarasu always knows the exact location of the target object. Second, the Yatagarasu always knows exactly how to disarm the security system. Third, the Yatagarasu doesn't leave a single shred of evidence behind ever. I see. So those are the Yatagarasu's special traits. Sounds like an incredibly elusive thief. He's part of the government, right? He must be part of the law. Has never been caught on tape, never tries to draw anyone's attention, and would never do something as lowbrow as commit murder. That's how I knew that Rel wasn't the real Yatagarasu right away. Well, you can't use that sort of logic on his own to prove he wasn't. Listen, little girl, I'm not done talking yet. What's different about this time was that the evidence related to the smuggling ring was sent to the police, and the sender was none other than the one who infiltrated the Kodopian embassy, the Yatagarasu. Must be a fake. The Yatagarasu sent the evidence. Until now, the Yatagarasu would always publicize any corrupt dealings through the mass media, but not this time. The evidence this time was something only Faraday and I and a select few others knew about. In that case, I can be sure that it was the Yatagarasu who sent it. That's easy. A special card that only the Yatagarasu uses was attached. That's how I can be sure. What sort of card is it? Here, take a look at this article. Whenever the authorities wants to publicize something, a white card is sent along with the stolen information. But when we questioned Ro about what was sent along with the white card, Ro had no idea what it was. That's how Detective Bad knew that Mr. Ro was a phony. Thank you very much. I have a much better understanding. Excuse me, Mr. Edgeworth. Yes? Yes? His Honor would like to transfer the evidence from today's trials over to you. So if you please head over to the courtroom, it'd be much appreciated, sure? Understood. I'll be there shortly. Detective Bad, what does the law mean to you? Finding the answer to that question is the only reason I'm still alive. I became a prosecutor to find the answer to that question myself, and to play a part in ensuring that all criminals everywhere are found guilty. September 10th, District Court, Courtroom number 3. Oh, it's you, Mr. Edgeworth. Sigh. It appears that His Honor is still a bit dispirited. For the first time today, I experienced what it's like to stand at the witness stand. I now have a greater appreciation for just how hard it is to give testimony, but there's no reason for you to be all depressed about it, Your Honor. As a judge, no one expects you to think about anything other than the verdict. There's no need for further depress His Honor. I'm not trying to, Miles. Your Honor. Your Honor, I've come to collect the evidence that was to be transferred to me. Hey. Your Honor, the evidence. Your Honor. Oh. You. Yes. Can I help you? I'd like to collect the evidence now, sir. Your Honor. Do you think you can stay focused long enough to at least do your job? Yes, I'm sorry. And I would, except the defense attorney has yet to arrive. She's busy with investigation, so let's keep this brief, shall we? Very well. In that case, please confirm that all the pieces of evidence are present. Furthermore, the evidence that was used in the murders of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell are also included, so please go ahead and use them in your investigation of the case. Understood, Your Honor. The pieces of evidence that were used in this murder, those two men, this could be a very good chance for me to find new leads regarding the case. Maybe even something that will finally lead me to the truth. I place all of the evidence over at the prosecutor's bench for you. I see. Thank you very much. I'll go and confirm that they're all accounted for. This is the evidence related to Kodokan Embassy. You mean the evidence bagged that was on table number 2 lobby? Right, yes. Finally, we can take a look at the evidence itself and not just data about them. Let's be sure to thoroughly examine while we have the time. I want to take a good look at all of the evidence from the Embassy murder too. And why is that? Because I don't fully understand what today's trial was about. Don't point your crop at me just because you don't know something. Don't you try to order me around just because Papa chose you today. Someone is still sore about not being picked by Mr. Von Karma. It's also real to see the knife up close. So we have the knife, gun, and an envelope. And what's the organizer doing here? Oh, that's right. I completely forgot to tell you. About what, Your Honor? They found Mr. Ferry's personal organizer inside the evidence bag of his. Detective Bad requested to be passed along to you. He said it would help the investigation. Detective Bad said that? What a strange stroke of luck. I'll never with the gift horse in the mouth. We might as well flip the road up. What? Mr. Faraday's personal organizer. I won't rest until I inspect the reason. That's what this is in crowning. Wallet. Looks like he wrote his strategy for getting Mr. O convicted down here. I collected evidence I need to prove Ryo was the killer. Between the handgun Ryo had on him when he was arrested and the surveillance tape, I would be able to prove that he was the one. The sound of his handgun going off was recorded with superb clarity on the surveillance video. I also have evidence that I can use to prove that Ryo is not the real Yatagarasu. No matter how he may try to play it, as long as I have the Yatagarasu's keys, I can prove he's a phony. I can present it to him in court. It should clear everything up. It's been a long battle. I hope that this will finally bring it to an end. Yes, I believe Mr. Faraday was well prepared to discredit any claim Mr. Ryo may have about being the real Yatagarasu. He had a way to prove that Mr. Ryo was the guilty party. This organizer is a clue straight from Mr. Faraday. I'll have to take my time and give it a thorough later. Look, there's a picture stuck between the pages here. It's a cave. And a rather ornate one just at that. Just look at the design of the handle. I mean, I could make that. Craftsman is superb. Could this be the Yatagarasu key Mr. Faraday mentioned? Yatagarasu's key. Detective Bass is something rare. What's different about this time was that evidence related to the smoking ring was sent to the police. And the sender was none other than the one who infiltrated the Kadopian embassy, the Yatagarasu. The Yatagarasu sent the evidence? Until now, the Yatagarasu would always publicize any corrupt feelings through the mass media, but not this time. The evidence this time was something really Faraday and I just missed it. And a select few others know about. Trying to keep the secret safe. In the prosecutor in both Yatagarasu and smoking ring cases, that's to be expected. A photo of the key Yatagarasu sent has rather unusual shape. A knife. That's odd. What is it? Mr. Faraday didn't mention anything about a knife in his organizer. Wait a minute. What is that shape? What is the handle? Look at the handle. The weapon that was used to kill the Kadopian embassy staff member was the gun. And if that's the case, then where did the knife that was used to murder Mr. Faraday come from? Isn't it obvious? It was brought into the courthouse by Ryo. It's the only logical conclusion. No, because it's not easy to smuggle a weapon like that in here. Every person who enters the courthouse doors is checked thoroughly on contraband. Furthermore, the suspect was handcuffed, making it impossible for a knife as large as this inside. In that case, how do you suppose the knife ended up inside the courthouse? I need to think carefully here. Is there nothing related to the knife written under Mr. Faraday's organizer? However, it is a fact that this knife came from Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. Conversely, there is one item listed in Mr. Faraday's organizer that no one has claimed to have seen today. So in order to solve the mystery, I believe I need to take another good look at the evidence. Miles Edgeworth, can I take the fact that you have yet to answer me to mean that you don't have the answer for me? Actually, I do know the answer. What is it? One of the pieces of evidence you've been holding on to has been hiding a secret of its own, and it was through this piece of evidence that the knife was brought into the courthouse. Now look at the handle. Look at the handle. It's the same thing as the knife. It's the butterfly knife. Right? No, never mind. Okay. Just show her that. The key. This is how the knife was brought into the courthouse. They're not making any sense. You just need to look a bit closer, Francisca, to see what I mean. Don't the color and ornament of the key's handle remind you of something? They do remind me of the knife. Very good. Both the Yatagarasu's keys in this photo and the murderer's knife have this very unique design in their handles. Furthermore, even though Mr. Faraday mentions Yatagarasu's key, The only object we found at the crime scene was the knife. You don't seriously mean to say it turns into a knife, right? It appears, yes. I do mean to say that these two pieces are in fact one and the same. That's impossible. But even if that is what you believe, we should still investigate this possibility. Now then, let us examine the knife a little more in detail. There should be a switch or a button, right? There we go. I can't believe it turned into a key. To think that it was just a trick to this thing. So the weapon used to kill Mr. Faraday is actually the key to the Yatakara system. The piece of information is more critical than anything we've learned up until now. Frankly, I'm shocked. Mr. Faraday only mentioned the key aspect of this piece of evidence and his organizer. It's possible that even he had no idea the key was holding a knife blade inside. But if that's true, the only person who knew about the key could have killed Mr. Faraday. Even among the law enforcement, this key was top secret. We're looking for someone who knew even more about the key than Mr. Faraday. Meaning that the only person it could be is the one who sent the key in the first place, the great thief Yatakarasu. Then maybe Mr. Rowe really was Yatakarasu, and he was the one who killed Mr. Faraday. Isn't that one possible scenario? Nope. Since Mr. Faraday was absolutely convinced that Mr. Woe was not the Yatakarasu. Besides, as Detective Bad said earlier, but when we questioned Ro about what was sent along with the white car, Ro had no idea what it was. I see. Alright then, I guess the person who knows the trick behind this key is someone else, and that person is the real Yatakarasu. Seems that this key is truly the key to solving the case. Stop using that pun. He thinks he's funny. He keeps using that pun. I take a quick look through the documents before the trial started. Well, it was in the on the night of September 8th, the embassy staff member was killed in front of the embassy. The staff member died of shock due to being shot in the heart. Macro was brought in that night and the suspect thoroughly questioned because the murder weapon was found on him, for which he was arrested on the spot. Simpleton of a man, that's what he was. Perhaps he was, for the weapon wasn't the only incriminating evidence he had. Mr. Rowe was caught in the act on film by a security camera. He was an even bigger simpleton than I thought. I can't believe he didn't notice a security camera. The Kodokan Embassy's security system is supposedly very well designed. He may have simply not been aware that there was a camera in the area. So, have you seen the contents of the video? The surveillance video the security camera took was played during the trial by Mr. Faraday. You can clearly identify Mr. L on it. Even the sound of the gunshot was very clear. So the footage included the sound, huh? I don't think I've ever wanted to see the moment of someone's death in real life. Me neither. That's odd. We're short one piece of evidence, and the piece that's missing is the surveillance video that was played in court. Let me see the video. How could a piece of evidence just disappear? Where did it go? The video showing the moment in which Mr. Rowe committed the murder. Where could it have gone indeed? Are you done with your inspection of the evidence? Yes, I'm finished. However, Your Honor, I am missing a single piece of evidence of prosecutorial evidence. Your Honor, were you derelict in your duties? What? No, I dare not neglect my duties. What do you take me for? No, Your Honor, the most important piece of evidence in today's trial, the surveillance video, is not amongst the evidence you laid out for me. But I brought Mr. Faraday's whole bag with me from the crime scene. Maybe the tape is still somewhere at the crime scene. There's something wrong here. Something about this missing piece of evidence. It would appear that for me to find the answers I seek, I will have to pay another visit to the scene of the crime, defendant lobby number 2. Hey yo. Hey yo. The Chinese dude? Lance, I think? No. She's something. Xing Fei? Did you find it? No. I've looked everywhere. I see. Please continue with the search. Understood. I'll continue the search. Hey yo! So that wasn't the first time we've met. Episode 3 wasn't the first time we've met. Prosecutors like you shouldn't even be allowed at the crime scenes. How dare you? Just who do you think you are? Alright. Nice cameo, I guess. What was that all about? And who was the man just now? Whoever he was, I've never seen a more impudent officer in my life. Does he even know that we're standing right here behind him? I know you're standing right behind me. What do you want, kids? It looks like you were paying attention after all. Check the TV. Maybe the footage isn't there. I have eyes in the back of my head. You have holes in the back of your shirt. Ah, so that mirror isn't for vanity's sake. It's for him to keep an eye out on who or what is behind him at all times. So tell me, Detective Bad, who was that rude man just now? The guy came here from the Republic of Zhengfa to study. Agent Lang. He's trying everything he can to revive the lost honor of his family. He's traveling the world to study different philosophies of detainment from scratch. By visiting various police departments around the world, he has a lot of dedication. He's still just a rookie cop, but I sense a strong grudge of some sort from him. The guy is more useful than Gumshoe, even if he's rude. Well, he sure has a lot of guts to come to this country and give prosecutors a hard time. I agree. However, I can think of one young lady that statement also applies to. Anyway, what was that agent looking for, Detective Bad? Earlier, that little girl was poking around in the lobby number 1 as well. Like I said before, this got nothing to do with the two of you. I highly doubt that it has nothing to do with me. Fine. If this is the game I must play, then I will take this opportunity to draw out what he's been hiding and what happened in this room straight from him. Check the TV. Check the VCR. Tiny TV. Detective Gumshoe was rather shocked at this, and he said it was huge compared to his own. Finding anything you compare with something he owns will always seem grandiose. Speaking of grandiose, I'd say that ego of yours could use a little deflating. Anyways, Bad. Earlier you were in lobby number 1, and now you're in lobby number 2. You're quite a busy man, Detective Bad. Multiple returns to a crime scene brings about success. That's what we detectives say. I see. In that case, you wouldn't mind if I asked you about what happened again, correct? I don't have anything left to say to you, boy. Boy, you'll see. I will draw my answer from you one way or another. Would it kill you to help us even a tiny bit in our investigation? I gave Faraday's notebook to that judge earlier. That's helpful enough, don't you think? Please, we are asking you for just a bit more of your cooperation. Don't push me, kid. Time of the murder. I'd like to ask once again what happened around time. What happened here at the time of crime? Here. I refuse to answer. Any more investigating you do would be a waste of time. Besides, how am I supposed to answer questions about things I don't know about? Things you don't know about, but aren't you supposed to know everything? You should. Wait, is it possible? Maybe he doesn't know about the trick behind that piece of evidence. I should try showing it to him. It may prove to be the key to getting some answers from you. And stop using this pun, bro. Stop using this fucking pun. It's confusing as hell. He thinks he's funny. Detective Bad. Did you know of the existence of the item in this photograph? Of course I did. It's my job to know everything related to the Yatagarusu case. In that case, let me ask you something. Did you know that the knife that killed Mr. Faraday and this Yatagarusu's key are one and the same? What? That's impossible. It looks like you didn't know after all. This piece of evidence, which we call the Yatagarusu's key, is actually a well-camouflaged knife. Mr. Faraday was planning to use this Yatagarusu's key to prove that Mr. Owo was not the real Yatagarusu. Isn't that correct? I guess so. However, Mr. Faraday had no idea it was in fact a knife. Yeah, I have to admit, neither one of us knew that fact, and if neither of us knew, then no one in law enforcement knew either. How did we miss something as big as this? I noticed that since a little while ago you appear to be searching for something. I presume that this key is what you were searching for. That's right. And why were you searching for it? Because I promised Faraday. I promised that I'd protect that key with my life. After all, but after he was killed, the key disappeared from Faraday's evidence bag. Who would have thought that the key is what took Faraday's life? It's too bad. So that we may find the truth, please testify for me once more. Alright, but it doesn't matter how many times I tell you about what happened. Nothing will change. My answer is still the same, and this is the last time I'm going to do this. That's fine, because I only need this one last time to clear everything up and find the truth behind this case. I was in lobby number 1 talking with you.
Hold it!
Why did Miss Hughes choose lobby number 1? Answer me. Who knows? She just said she has something she wanted to talk about. And we walked into the lobby number together, that's all. So his answer remains the same as before. You see? We were talking about some trivial things.
Hold it!
I was hoping you could expand on what exactly we're discussing with trivial stuff, nothing important. That's for me to decide. Alright, I suppose that's for him to decide. Moving on then. I heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to reconvene. The gunshot. Until you heard the gunshot, did you notice anything else that was out of the ordinary? I didn't hear any other strange sounds until that gunshot. If the gunshot Detective Bad heard was really the one for the murder, that would give that other piece of evidence entirely different meaning. That would give that other piece of evidence. I ask that you please amend your testimony with that statement just now. Sure. I didn't hear any other strange sounds until that gunshot. What up? The balloon? Balloon. What about this?
Objection!
Objection! Detective Bad, does this balloon fragment remind you of anything? It's the same color as the one Kay was holding. Oh, so you knew about that girl's balloon. Yeah, I was sitting there with her in the gallery during the recess, just before we split up. I filled that balloon up for her. Well, as you may have already surmised, this piece did indeed come from Kay's balloon. So, what about the balloon? I wonder if you might remember hearing this balloon pop at some point. What are you getting at? This fragment was found in the hallway right in front of lobby number 2. Furthermore, it was the sound of this balloon popping that the judge mistook as a gunshot. Oh, so the sound that the judge heard was not actually a gunshot, huh? On top of that, His Honor said that he heard the balloon pop about 20 minutes before the trial was about to reconvene. Yes, which means that His Honor heard the balloon pop in the hallway when you were in lobby number 1. And if you were in lobby number 1 at the time, you were close enough that you should have heard the balloon popping as well. So? What? Don't mean so. We just proved that there's a flaw in your testimony. The crackling of the truth is louder than the sound of your sweet naivety cracking. And since your tears don't seem to know, let me feel good in something. Did you ever stop to think why the doors and walls of this place seem so rugged? That's because they're designed to keep secrets from being leaked. Hold it. What is that supposed to mean? It's soundproof. It's soundproof. Then you mean... Since I was shut up inside lobby 1, there was no way I could have heard that sound. No. Alright. I need that pseudo for a say. That means that Scruff-Face's testimony is completely useless. The rooms are soundproof, and of course he wouldn't hear any signs of trouble. That's also why it's only natural that I didn't hear the balloon popping. Now, do you get it, kids? Miles, I thought we were supposed to be the ones finding flaws in his logic, not the other way around. The other way around. It's not possible to hear the sound of balloon popping if one were in lobby number 1. However, if we examine the situation reversed, a person standing in the hallway should not be able to hear the real gunshot either. And yet Detective Gumshoe claims to have heard it while he was standing in the hallway. The windows were open, right? And they're connected. If that's the case, how exactly did you hear the gunshot? What do you mean, how? I just said... It appears that you have yet to realize the contradiction in your own words. Oh, how so? If the rooms are soundproof as you say they are, then how did the sound of gunshot enter your ears? I see what you mean. I guess I'm more out of it from Faraday's murder than I thought. Which means exactly what, Miles? In the end, what does it all boil down to? It boils down to this. There must be a reason as to how Detective Bad and Gumshoe heard a gunshot they theoretically couldn't have. It looks like we need to examine the state of the crime scene again, huh? The state of the crime scene? Wait, can it be? It's that ultra strong perfume you wears. She spilled some of it. Way too noisy. Lobby number 2's television was set to an incredibly high volume. The surveillance video. How could a piece of evidence just disappear? Where'd it go? Oh. It's simply not possible for the killer to have escaped through barred windows, and yet the fragrance of the perfume managed to escape defendant lobby number 1. Of the perfume managed to escape from defendant lobby number 1, and of course, incorporeal things can move freely through these open, barred windows. Very loud television, missing evidence. Let's try connecting it. Maybe it'll miss. Up. Ouch. What? Alright, this should be it. Now then, what else besides smells can go both in and out of open barred windows? The answer is sound. So no matter how careful the killer was, if the windows were open, the jig would be up. And since the windows in both the defendant lobby and number 1 and hallways were open, that explains the sound of gunshot to be heard from both locations. The sound of gunshot could be heard from defendant lobby number 1 in the hallway. Okay. This Smithers gunshot could be heard. Do I connect these? It doesn't feel like they connect, but fuck it. Oh, they do connect. The missing piece of evidence is a video that shows the moment in which Rel killed the embassy staff member. The sound of gunshot left quite an impression on me when it was displayed during the trial. The video should have returned to Faraday's evidence back for recess and brought back here. If it disappeared after that time, then it's possible that the tape is still here in this room. Eureka! The evidence that the missing evidence created for me is the gunshot sound that no one should have been able to hear in the first place. Miles, what have you been thinking about? Check the fucking TV. That's what I've been saying. Check the fucking TV. It's right there. Just check the video. And where would that be? I believe we should examine the television. You should have checked it in the first place. Well, you kids have fun. Go ahead and examine whatever you like. Eureka! The tape. Could it not be missing surveillance tape? I suppose. Detective Bad, would it be alright if I verify the contents of the video? Sure, knock yourself out. Alright, then let's rewind and see what happens. If I remember correctly, the footage of Rel killing the MC staff member should be at about 30 minutes mark from the start of the tape. Understood. This should be about right. Now let's see. This is the footage. I knew it. Can we see the video though? This is a photo. It was here all along. This sound. What's the meaning of this? It appears Detective Bad has figured out a source of the gunshot he heard. With this, we can figure out the trick behind the double murder. You mean you figured it all out then? Yes. All I have to do now is show what the gunshot Detective Bad and Gumshoe heard was, and through where they heard it from. Fine. In that case, show me what you've deduced. Now, to show what the gunshot Detective Bad and Gumshoe heard was, and through where they heard it from. Yes, as with the smoke perfume lobby number 1, the window is open, piece of evidence, but also now to show what the gunshot Detective Bad and where they heard it from. Okay, so it's telling me that I should show the video here. If the door and the windows to the crime scene, namely this room that we're in, were closed, the killer could have used the gun and no one would have been wiser. That's true. This courthouse does seem to be well designed for such a thing. However, what happened in reality was Detective Gumshoe, Detective Bad, and Miss Yu, all three of them heard the gunshot. Well, the windows in lobby 1 and 2 and the hallways were open, so naturally the people in those locations could hear it. But then, why would the criminal open the window in the first place? To allow the gunshot to be heard, I suppose. Correct. That's the only logical conclusion we can draw from this. But why was that necessary in the first place? I want the real answer, Miles. I demand satisfaction. Very well. I believe that the killer wanted to manipulate our perception of a certain fact. What was it? The time of the murder. The killer wanted to fabricate the time of death to their precise wishes, and they used the gunshot and surveillance video to do so. So that's why the tape was left running. You mean the gunshot I heard was from this video? Yes, which means that the murders really occurred at an earlier time than we thought. Can't you do a fucking autopsy for that? Just do a fucking autopsy. It must have been during the recess, but before Detective Gumshoe was on guard duty. Someone who had no alibi for that time period and planned this crime out in advance. That person is a real killer. Just do a fucking autopsy. Check the time. Like, we don't have to go through all of this. Mr. Edgeworth, what is it? Mr. Lee is asking for you. She's in the courtroom. She says that she's identified the murderer, but that she wants to clarify something. It looks like Miss Yu is still investigating something. Understood. Please tell her I'll be right over. I'll come along. I want to hear what she has to say. It'll appear that the time has come to uncover the truth. Final part. Final part. September 10th, 6:15. Could be Miss Yu, who knows? Actually, could it be Von Karma that fabricated evidence? What you doing here? Hello, mister. I'm still investigating. But the object you're looking for has already... Okay, don't mind him. Please continue with your investigation. Okay, got it. Detective Bad, haven't we already found what you were looking for? If it means I can keep her in the dark just a little longer, any little task will do. Oh, you're more sympathetic than I thought. I've been waiting for you, Ashworth. I've also been waiting for the moment in which we can finally lay this case to rest. You're still laughing. The moment in which we can finally lay this case to rest. I forgot who the culprit was in this case. Wasn't that when we placed Detective Gumshoe under arrest? I think we're more than solved this case already, don't you? We'll see. It all depends on whether your logic holds. I see. We even have a viewer in the gallery. And why even Mr. Bad is here? A viewer in the gallery. I'm hardly just a bystander. You're 13. You're like 3 years older than Kay. Go play with Kay. Go play house. I have a duty to see this case to the end, no matter how it turns out. Oh, is that right? Anyway, I thought you might like to hear what I've slaved away to find out. I've taken statements from every single person's movements and during the time when our suspect was in the hallway. I also confirmed that there is no possible route of escape from lobby number 2. Therefore, the killer must without a doubt be Detective Gumshoe. And that's all you have? Yeah? That's all there is to my conclusion. Sorry, I beg to differ. In a trial, there is always a time for rebuttal, and we are standing in a court of law. It'd be more than appropriate to follow the rules of court in this case, don't you think? How absolutely like a rookie to think such a thing. But alright, I'll play along and give you proper testimony. If my logic isn't right, I'm never already won. All I have to do now is prove it by showing who the real killer is. The real killer. Is it Mr. Yu? Or Miss Yu? Everyone is sans. The suspect has an alibi for when the gun went off.
Hold it!
Furthermore, the areas around the crime scene have all been thoroughly investigated, right? I also confirmed that there is no possible escape route from lobby number 2.
Hold it!
None of these are important. We just want to show her that the crime scene didn't happen there, right?
Hold it!
Bum, bum, bum. I think I should inquire into a little something already. You said earlier that you confirmed the alibis of every person other than the suspect. However, I don't recall either Francisco or myself speaking with you about the subject. Ah, but you were a witness. For you, there is your mentor who gave you an alibi. I see. As for the little Missy, she came to the courthouse during the recess and was stopped by a security guard at the door to the hallway. She gave him quite a whipping for that, so I heard. I'm the daughter of the man from Karma. I will not be forcibly stopped by a guard or by bailiff or anyone else. Wait, so basically the only reason Francisca bothered to show up today was because she found out that I was to be the replacement prosecutor? By the way, Miss Yu, what about everyone's alibis before Detective Gumshoe was assigned to guardian? What about them? Have you looked into what people were doing during this span of time? What kind of idiot do you take me for? It doesn't matter when the killer went into lobby number 2. From the time we heard the gunshot, to the time Mr. Bad and I arrived in the crime scene as we dashed from lobby number 1, the only person who could have committed the crime was Detective Gumshoe. Yes, and let's talk about when you and Detective Bad heard the gunshot, shall we? I suppose that if we go by your logic, then Detective Gumshoe is the only one. However, if the crime had occurred at an entire different time than when the gunshot you heard went off, what then? That gunshot was a trap meant to manipulate our perception of time. Objection! Sadly, your explanation is very lacking, Ezra. The gunshot we heard in lobby number 1, care to explain what that could have been, how that could have been fabricated? So there is video. That tape. Exactly what you think it is. Mr. Rell is the tape presented in today's trial. This was found loaded in videotape in the video player in lobby number 2. That was connected to the largest television that had its volume turned all the way up. You can't honestly mean that the sound we heard was the gunshot in the video? Ah, but I do, which leads me to the next point. The murder occurred much earlier than when anyone heard the gunshot. That's the only thing I can think of too. After committing double homicide, the killer took the surveillance video out from Faraday's evidence bag, turned the television volume all the way up, and left the video to play. So how long is the video? If played from the beginning, it would take about 30 minutes for the gunshot sound to come on. And since we now know that this method of time manipulation is possible, it opens up the possibility that the killer is someone other than Detective Gumshoe. Objection! Sounds from the television doesn't amount to much here, but of course Mr. Prosecutor Ashworth and Little Miss Von Karma already knew that much from the very beginning, right? Of course we knew. Didn't we, Miles? Of course. We know about soundproof quality of this courtroom house's rooms. Of course, I'm not about to admit we had no idea only a little while ago. That's right. And if the rooms are soundproof, then we should not have been able to hear it. And yet we heard the gunshot clear as day. And that's the end. That's the end of the story. But it's not. How should I explain why she was able to hear the gunshot from the soundproof room? Window was open. There is actually one common point between the lobby 1 and lobby number 2. And that is, despite the fact that both rooms have air conditioners installed, a window was open in each. Now we know that the window in lobby number 2 was opened by the killer. However, a window in lobby number 1 was also opened. It's probably a coincidence that we were both opened at the same time. It was no mere coincidence, I assure you. Why was the window opened in lobby number 1? The answer is that a certain person did something to cause the window to be opened. And the person who triggered that action, that person is the real guilty party. The real killer in the double murder is Miss Yu? Miss Yu?
Take that!
Is Callisto Yu? I hereby formally indict you of murder of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Bell. Oh shit. Me? Are you serious, Miles? Why do you think she's the killer? I don't understand her motive just yet. But of course I'm serious. Because she's the only one who could have done it. Well, Miss Yu, do you feel like laughing now? Of course I do, Mr. Edgeworth. My argument must not be tight enough yet. Although I never thought things would spiral into this. I'll have you know, I'm enjoying the dance quite a bit. I guess it means it's time for my own rebuttal now, right? Misused rebuttal. You argued that the window was open, however, do you have proof it was I who did that? Furthermore, do you have proof that the tape was used in committing the crime? Frankly, I'm shocked at you for going around accusing people of murder like this, especially with logic as full of holes as yours. This is where it really starts. I mustn't let my guard down even for a second or the truth will blow away. Now is the time to put the patented Von Karma perfect proof to test.
Hold it! Hold it!
Frankly, I'm shocked. It gives you people murder like this.
Hold it!
Alright, let's read this
Hold
again.
it!
Evidence. There's some prints and we know straight away. Be my guest. She sounds as if she has a room to maneuver, which means if referred to able to infringe, they'd only show that it was someone else. But why that someone else was forced to open the window? It's simple logic. Why don't I present her that as if the ruse? Present the perfume?
Objection!
Objection! I'm sure you've seen this before, haven't you, Miss Yu? Edgeworth, I never knew you were into wearing that kind of perfume. It's not exactly what I'd recommend for boys, you know. What? This isn't mine. That's right, it's mine, and I received it from Detective Bad, you see. Miss Yu, you can pretend all you like, but we know at least this much for sure, that you are the one who gave this bottle of perfume to Detective Bad. Alright, turn up the volume. Turn up the volume. And you're super easy to rile up. So, what about the perfume? While you were in lobby number 1, you made a big show of spilling some of this perfume. That's according to Detective Bad. Oh, I know. You also know that if you spilled it, he would naturally move to open the window. Come on now, I already told you that it's all just a big coincidence. After we opened the window in lobby number 1, I just left it open, you know? So maybe it was dumb luck that we heard the gunshot from the window. The timing of when you were going to spill the perfume is something you can control. And the most important fact about this case is when people were going to hear the shot. Furthermore, it would have been pointless if you didn't have an alibi for yourself at the time. You mean, it's you. You were the one who called Detective Bad into lobby number 1 when you saw him bring Detective Gumshoe into the hallway. Is that correct? All of today's premeditated events could only have been thought up by you, Miss Yu. You accused me of murder and the fact that I spilled a little perfume. Well, allow me to say this much. I couldn't have killed Mr. Faraday. Would you care to testify why? Look, I've had lots of fun today, really. But I grow wary of the game of cat and mouse. Let's make this the last testimony and wrap up this absurd case once and for all. Why could he be? Let's get to the end. Da-da-da-da. We're going to read this all anyways. Accusing someone of murder over a spilled bottle of perfume is a bit over the top.
Hold it!
I think I already explained the significance of that earlier. You only confirmed that I did spill some perfume, but that's all. That you would accuse me of murder based on a simple spill. Don't you dare complain when I sue you for defamation of character. Do as you like, but as for me, I believe. You believe? I believe that you are the true culprit in this case. I suppose forgery of evidence is to be expected of a disciple of Von Karma. I formally request that you desist your attack against my mentor. Yes, we'll sue you for defamation. All I'm doing is telling the truth, or maybe more like spreading gossip. Although your adamant denials are, shall we say, just adding fuel to the fire. Say such thing. Calm down, little girl. Don't let her get to you. Why did you have to ruin my fun? Shall we continue? In any case, it simply could not have been me who killed Mr. Faraday. Care to explain? I was about to testify. You're so impatient. I'm not really into that, you know. Your preferences have no bearing on what is at hand. I feel a little uncomfortable, Riley. Objection! It's you. You would desist in this tomfoolery in return for your testimony. And Miles, if you're going to lose your cool, then I won't show you any mercy. Sorry, Miss Yu. Please continue. Sure. I was saying, I couldn't have possibly killed Mr. Faraday. After all, I don't even know where the knife that was used to kill him came from.
Hold it!
At this rate, she will inevitably escape. But if she really is the one who killed Mr. Faraday, then she must have known about the existence of the knife. I'm sorry, Miss Yu. Maybe you weren't aware. However, that knife was used to kill Mr. Faraday was taken from his evidence bag. Miles, what do you think you're doing? I'm drawing the truth out of her. That's what I'm doing. But I don't recall a knife being presented at the trial earlier today. Well, I suppose that's because the evidence was something Mr. Faraday had yet to use. So that's what you're trying to do. Look, why don't you cut it out with the lies? I've already figured it out. There was no knife inside Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. The only evidence he had yet to present was the key. And unless you can magically turn it into a knife, you really don't have a leg to stand on. Did you really think you trapped me? Come on, be honest. I never intended to do such a thing. It was all a misunderstanding on my part. In any case, I wonder if you might append what you just said in your testimony. Why not? The knife part. With a simple key. Aha! That's where you're wrong. That's exactly where you're wrong. You got a knife that can magically turn into a key.
Objection!
Miss Yu, I wonder if you might take a look at this photo for me. This is a picture of the key. However, while it may look like a key at first glance, it, in fact, has the secret ability to transform into a knife, which means that it was inside Mr. Faraday's bag. It was both the Yatakarsu's keys and the murderer's knife. You knew that the key was inside Mr. Faraday's bag, did you not? Yes. Well, with the Yatakarsu's keys alone, it's more than possible to kill Mr. Faraday. Do you understand now? Just knowing the existence. Okay? Your testimony? I still haven't had a good look at it. Showing it to me from that far away. You could be lying for all I know. You would, even now, still feign ignorance. I'm not feigning anything. We can't have you accusing me of a crime with false evidence now, can we? I mean, Mr. Von Karma, I've heard some very interesting rumors about him. Are you mocking my papa? Don't you dare sully the good name of my mentor. Now take a good look. This piece of evidence is more than real. Wow, who knew there was such a trick to this thing? Are you satisfied now? But of course, you knew this from the very beginning, did you not? You knew that the knife and the Yatagarasu keys are one and the same. Otherwise, someone like you, who isn't a member of the law enforcement, and who would never have been privy to this trick, would have never known about it to begin with. Furthermore, there's the something that the Yatagarasu sent to the police. How did you have knowledge as to what it was? Actually, I heard it from Mr. Faraday just before he dragged Mr. O off. He told me. That's right, I almost forgot. He also told me of the key turning into a knife at the time, but he didn't tell me about how the key actually performs. What are you saying is simply not possible? Oh, why not? Because Mr. Faraday himself didn't know about the hidden knife within the key. For within the pages, he mentions nothing about the knife. I'm not sure he would have written everything in his organizer, you know? Wouldn't something of this importance be better left to oral communication? Unfortunately, that is also not possible. Impossible. Because Detective Bad didn't know about the knife aspect either. Sure. What would have been highly classified information even within the police force, and is something that even the lead detective on the case didn't know. Why would Mr. Faraday have felt the need to share such information? I guess he wouldn't have much of a reason. Just I gave a pretty lame excuse. How can you laugh at a time like this? She probably just realized her flaw in her logic and is actually in panic over it. But it's not something we need to concern ourselves with. I suppose you're right. It's you. I'd like to state that I also know how you know the real nature of his life. Do you now? Well, why don't you put your money where your mouth is and show me? I will. I'll wipe that smile off your face by the time we're through. This is it. The secret behind Yatagarasu's key. Only one person would have had knowledge of it from the get-go. Who would know from the start that the Yatagarasu's key could change into a knife? Her? Who would know from the start that the Yatagarasu's key could change into a knife? Yatagarasu? What am I missing here? I'd like to state that I also know how you know the real nature of the knife. Do you now? Well, why don't you put your why would Mr. Faraday have felt the need to share such information with the opposition? Because Detective Bad didn't know about the knife aspect either. What would have been highly classified information even within the police force, and is something that even the lead detective in the case didn't know. Why would Mr. Faraday have felt the obligation to share such information? Well, it's either her or the Yatagarasu. Let's go with this one first. There's only one person who would have known about the dual nature of the key. And that is the person who sent the Yatagarasu's keys to the police. That is, they say, the Yatagarasu herself. Are you saying that this lawyer is the great thief Yatagarasu? Yes. You used Mr. Rel to lure Mr. Faraday into a trap, didn't you? You, who profess to bear a grudge against criminals. Why? Why do something like this? Who would have thought that you, a stupid rookie prosecutor, would see through me? You're sending the biggest chill down my spine right now, Ezra. This feeling of thrill is even greater than when I sneak into some place. You killed Faraday. Why? Answer me, Castillo, you. Aha. Castillo, you, huh? That's not my real name. Because my real identity is, yes, the great thief Yatagarasu. That's not your name either. Let me tell you something. Mr. Faraday was one difficult man to deal with. For you see, he discovered my true identity, which is why I had to erase him from the world of law. I made Rel an offer, an acquittal for a little favor in return. All he had to do was accuse Mr. Faraday of being the Yatagarasu in court. But once we entered recess, Rel was dragged off by Mr. Faraday, which threw my plan into a complete mess. I chased after them and eavesdropped on them through a crack in the door. That Rel caves to only two things, money and authority, just as all thugs do. I feared my plan was going to ruin if Mr. Faraday held on to Rel any longer. Plus, if I had let them continue on the way they were, I would have been found out. That's why I had no choice. I had to kill them both. But didn't you say you despised criminals? But do I really? You. Have you forgotten about the KGA incident too? Maybe. What sort of woman would? So then, wasn't your plan to kill Mr. Faraday with the very evidence you sent? Well, I had a good idea what Mr. Faraday was going to do. I anticipated that Mr. Faraday was going to prove that Rel wasn't the Yatagarasu by using this Yatagarasu's key as evidence, and that he would bring it with him, which is why I thought to use the knife version. With the weapon as well disguised as this, no one would be wiser, because who in their right mind would think something like this could be a weapon? I casually entered lobby number 2 on the pretext that I had to talk with Mr. Faraday, and in order to get it with him, I pretended to be worried about something. He then let me hold the Yatagarasu's keys just like that. He never noticed that I had changed the key into a knife inside that plastic bag, and he didn't have the chance to take note of the knife that took his life. But like, how does the blood get in it? How could you kill him? I knew him for a very long time, you know. At the very least, I thought to give him a quick and painless death. But if you killed Mr. Faraday first, there was no need for you to kill Mr. Wei as well. I believe I mentioned why when placing Detective Gumshoe under arrest. Something about having accidentally created an eyewitness and how that led to the killing. To think about setting them up as though they killed each other. Then the trick with the surveillance tape. Yes, I hadn't actually planned to use the gun. The risk was too high that I'd be caught. However, that's when I remembered the existence of the surveillance tape, which is why I had Rel help me set up the crime scene. And after all was said and done, I rewarded him with all his hard work with a bullet. You're a defense attorney, aren't you? How could you? How could you betray a client? Client? If you want to talk about who was the client, of whose first, it was me. I was the client in the murder of the Kodopi NBC staff member, Dave Mann. So he's an assassin? You ordered a hit job. You still haven't figured it out, Mr. Bad. I had Bane Man killed because he was to give away info about the smuggling ring. Now, who exactly do you think would benefit from such an assassin? I don't think she's the Yatagarasu. Can't be you. That's right. I'm a member of the smuggling ring. How could this? You don't mean you're working with Manny Koshin too, do you? So there's multiple Yatagarasus. Guess you'll never know. The Yatagarasu claims to be noble, but you're just another cold-blooded murderer. That's right, little girl. The Yatagarasu is just another killer. Be quiet, you. Yatagarasu. You can run from the law, but you'll never escape it. You just humbly accept the judgment of this court. Hey, Edgeworth, did you know? The Yatagarasu has 3 legs. Do you know why that is? No? Well, let me tell you. It means that the Yatagarasu has more than one razor-sharp way to do her work. Can the police do something? Detective? You really are naive, Edgeworth. You even handed the attachments right to me without a second thought. Everything may not have gone according to plan, but I'll gladly take it. You mean the key was your real target? And even after I gave you such great advice, didn't I tell you to always keep a good eye on the criminal? You may regret what comes of your negligence. You too. Get down. Ah. My body can't move. Hey, mister, to your right. You. You're right, Francisco. I'm perfectly fine, Miles. Her voice is shaking, but I look she's unharmed. Where'd the key go? That gunshot. What happened? She ran away? Sorry, but it looks like she got away. I called the precinct. They should have a perimeter set up soon. Detective Banner, you alright? I'm shot. I'm okay. Just got nothing in my jacket. He may say he's fine, but he looks quite shaken. But more importantly, boy, I mean Mr. Edgeworth, Miss Funny Karma, are you two hurt? Absolutely fine. I'm also alright, thanks to Kay. Speaking of Kay, where is she? I don't know. She just sort of disappeared. I'll go look for her. Oh, and hey, Detective Gumshoe. Yes, sir. I'm sorry I doubted you. Don't worry, sir. Ain't your fault. Well, I lied to you guys after all. I heard about what happened from Kay. Lying while giving testimony is still unforgivable. But, come on, man. But in this case, you were protecting Kay and her feelings. It looks like you just might have what it takes to be a real detective. Now, don't you ever lose that detective spirit, okay? Got it. Pops. Pops. You got a father figure. Way to single-handedly destroy the tree atmosphere with one snarky comment. I should get back to the investigation. I swear I'll catch you if it's the last thing I do. Careful, that's too bad. Thanks. Well, I'm off. Maybe we'll run into each other again someday. So, thanks a bunch. You're the best. You really did find out the truth behind everything. Yes, well, I'm glad we solved everything before you were taken to prison. Hey man, do your job. No problem, really. I mean, I lied too, so I didn't help anything. It's not really your fault, Your Honor. Well, we don't have Mr. Honor's testimony. I think that lawyer would have found another way to get you convicted on her behalf. Yeah, I can't believe I was getting fired during my first week. Well, as long as you're not fired, you should work hard. Give all that you have and perform. Who are you to tell him what to do? Bro, who are you to tell him what to do? And one more thing. Kay left a present for you. She did? Oh, Swiss roll. Where's the Swiss roll?
Take that!
Take that. It's a courthouse special Swiss roll. Can I really have it? Yes, it's a present meant for you after all. Thanks a bunch. You have no idea how happy this makes me. Gonna eat this right now. Go ahead. It would appear that her sentiments have touched the heart of this detective. He's so happy. He says though he's having a welcome back celebration of his own. Well, I was asked by Kate to give it to him. Well, that was good, pal. I can't believe I got to eat 2 of these delicious things in one day. You ate 1. The other one fell. It's like I'm in a Swiss roll paradise or something. I gotta thank Kay myself. Hey, wait, where is she? You only noticed just now? Was his mind not present when we discussed earlier? Detective Bad left to go search for her earlier. Maybe you should go join him. Yeah, you betcha, pal. Gonna go help him. Oh, but first, you know what, pal? Actually, I guess I shouldn't be so rude to you anymore. I'm gonna stick right by your side from now on, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. That's just nothing but the most troublesome relationship from the omnibus things. We should go home too, Miles. We have to hurry and report what happened to Papa. Agreed. Well, I'm afraid Roger, sir. And don't you worry, I'll investigate the next case real well. I'm counting on you. The scent of trouble is definitely in the air. Thus, like a bad dream, my first outing at court came to a disturbing end. A few months later, I was finally able to properly stand in court as a prosecutor. But detective in charge of the investigation was, as I dreaded, Detective Gumshoe. After that, he became my direct subordinate. I have tried, but words fail to describe the immeasurable suffering he has caused me. But I suppose that's just how things are. As for the little girl who suddenly disappeared, she's now... Sup? You remember now? Yes, I remember everything. Okay, it's been a while. Okay, you sure grew up a lot. Of course, but thank goodness. I thought you two had totally forgotten about me. You know, I was really worried about you after all that. Where have you been all this time? Does she know she's not the Yatagarasu? Gummy, I didn't know you cared. After my father died, I went to go live with my mother's relatives. They lived really far away, so I wasn't really able to come back here. Is that what happened? Well, I'm just glad you're alright. So does it all make sense now? Yeah, betcha it does. Oh, so you know what? I was going through my father's bookshelf recently.
Hold it!
Actually, there's still a number of things that don't make sense, Kay. First of all, why did you come all this way to see me? And second, why are you calling yourself the Yatagarasu? The Yatagarasu is Callisto Yu, the woman who killed your father. No, you're wrong. The real Yatagarasu was my father. Mr. Faraday was the Yatagarasu? Like I said, I was going through my father's bookshelf recently, and I found a secret diary hidden among his books. I have no regrets in choosing to walk the path of the Yatagarasu. That was written in his diary, and that's how I know for sure. But that's impossible. What's with that look? You don't believe me? It wasn't just the expression on my face. I clearly said that was impossible just now. Alright then, how do you explain this? It's a way of disarming any security system? Yep, the little thief. Truth be told, this is the Yatagara's greatest secret. And this is the gizmo used by my father. Wow, Mr. Faraday wasn't just a great prosecutor. He was a really great thief, huh? Yeah, my father worked really hard to steal the truth, but he was killed. And the Yatagarasu was no more. But despite that, the Yatagarasu has been spotted again recently. Someone other than you? Here, Mr. Edgeworth. Take a look at this article. Sends card to embassy. A calling card. Yeah, meaning this person's fake. I'm almost certain that Callisto Yu lady is behind this, because the real Yatagarasu would never send something like a gaudy card out. But the Yatagarasu did send a white card along with anything to be publicized. That's what Detective Bab told me 7 years ago, if my memory serves. That was 7 years ago. Well, as soon as I heard the news, I got all wound up and I knew I couldn't let it go. So I searched you out, so that I could obtain the truth behind Yatagarasu, because if anything helped, I figured it's you. So they're saying that I have your father's and Miss Yu's identities backwards? Yes, because the real Yatagarasu is noble to the end, and I want to revive the real noble Yatagarasu. If I don't, my father will never be able to rest in peace. Kay, you're so honorable. I don't care what anyone else thinks. I'll always be here to cheer you on, pal. Shouldn't she go to college? Shouldn't she be in school right now? Even if you're honorable, a thief is a thief. And if you're plotting to commit a crime, then I'm afraid I can't complicit. Mr. Edgeworth, you guys are not making it easy for me. Who am I supposed to support now? Mr. Edgeworth, what I want from you is not to steal something. What I want is the arrest of that evil woman. That evil woman. Callisto Yu. I think it's too hard for me to catch her all by myself, but I thought that since you were able to expose her for who she is, then maybe... Please, Mr. Edgeworth, won't you help me? Come to think of it, I do believe I owe you. Owe me for what? When Miss Yu made her escape, it was you who saved my life. Furthermore, you helped me with the investigation today. I am not so rude to leave favors unrepaid. Then you mean... Yes. That case has been weighing down on my soul ever since that fateful day. Perhaps the time has come to settle things once and for all. If you don't intend to soil your hands in a crime, then I believe I can help you. Thank you. Mr. Edgeworth, sir, isn't it great, Kay? Yeah, for sure, Gummy. Even though he had completely forgotten that matter until just now. What is their chummy relationship? The great thief Yatagarasu. After all that time, the true identity of the thief sank back into the darkness. Brian Faraday, Castillo Yu, Callisto Yu, Kay Faraday. The phantasmagorically changing identity of the great thief Yatagarasu and the Yatagarasu's real goal. It would all come to light the day after I made that promise to Kay. The end. Yes. Turnabout ablaze. This one has 7 parts. Hold up. two cards. One of the Black Raven and one of the White Raven. A country torn in two. One to the west and one to the east. When those which were split are made whole again, the truth will reveal itself. Ours. You first get the ours. Okay. You. 8 hours earlier. Okay, so we're finally back to real time, right? It's so nice, almost dreamlike to finally have the chance to relax and sip some tea. Especially after the whirlwind the past few days have been. On my return flight, I was dragged into a case involving an Interpol agent's murder. The next day, I investigated a kidnapping and a murder at the Gate Waterland. And later that night, the fifth dead body welcomed me back to my office. Along with the thief who was out to pilfer files related to a case 10 years ago. How did I manage to find myself in the middle of so many cases back to back? Well, at least I have today. All I ask is that I be allowed to spend it quietly. Edward, this is big, I tell you. Hey, what's wrong with you? Where's your enthusiasm? And suddenly the phrase, fragility of dreams comes to mind. What are you talking about, fragility of dreams? Come on, let's go. The fake Yetta Garza isn't gonna just find herself, you know. Well, if you must know, it's possible that I was paid a visit last night by your fake. Say what? Unfortunately for us, the thief managed to escape. But even now, we're still looking for this criminal. However, I must warn you that we've only had a few hours to search so far, so I must insist that you be patient on this one. What's with you today? Are you sure you weren't sleep talking to me? Anyways, I've got something much more important. And that is... Take a look at this. March 14th, I will be there to steal your dirtiest secret. That's quite a bold declaration to send an embassy. It was inevitable that the newspaper would catch wind of this. Hello. Alright. We gotta hurry. Embassy waits. I said, what is this? Quite an urgent matter. However, do you know which country's embassy we should be investigating? Well, it's a really special country. No, I'm actually really fuzzy on the details. But never mind that. Where's all your energy? Why are you so lackadaisical today? I'm not, Kay. You're just too wound up. Well then, you should get wound up too. Because this just might be our chance to catch that woman. You mean Miss You? The woman who killed Kay's father, Brian Faraday, 7 years ago. Callisto Yu. She claimed to be the great thief Yatagarasu, and then disappeared from the courtroom. She made me so mad. The phony. Everyone knows that the real Yatagarasu would never send something like a calling card. Until the company's underhanded dealings are made public, the target is always totally unaware that the Yatagarasu has paid them a visit. That's what makes the real Yatagarasu's so awesome. Yatagarasu's card that's shown in this article, it looks to me as though it could be genuine. See? That's the thing. Whoever it is, that person isn't the real deal, but has knowledge of Yatagarasu. If this isn't a clue to that woman's involved, then nothing is. Come on, Nesword. Out the door you go. Wait. There are a few preparations I must make before we go. There's something interesting about this card. It's of a different color, which makes me wonder why. No reason at all. Very well. Seeing as how Miss Yu is also someone of a special nature to me, I agree there is some merit to be found in investigating this. I knew you'd come around. By the light of this night's glorious moon, Steel Samurai. What a coincidence. Who would have thought that a Steel Samurai stage show would ever be held at such an elegant theater inside a foreign embassy? Yeah, the climax is really awesome. Steel Samurai, Sushi Slash. I got chills down my spine when they pulled that move. Sushi Slash. Deceased. I suppose it really is more impactful to watch a show in person. Nah, television's better. I have to say though, this embassy is kind of funny. I mean, they have two countries sharing the same building. Well, I just said yourself, this place and the country's houses are very special. Even this theater is special that it is in a neutral zone shared by two countries. So, let me get this straight. The Steel Samurai show just now is being sponsored by one of the two countries. The one that's called Kingdom of Alabast, right? Yeah, so it appeared that the Steel Samurai is very popular in that country as well. It seems that way. But you know what I'm really into? The Jammin' Ninja. The Republic of Babo is sponsoring a Jammin' Ninja stage show. That's something for fangirls like me. We've totally got to see that too, Mr. Ashworth. The Jammin' Ninja show is going to kick the Steel Samurai show. You know, ever since I first met this girl, I've always had this inkling that she really wants to be not a thief, but rather a ninja. So anyway, about today's events. What's it called again? The Kingdom of Alabast versus the Republic of Babo Goodwill Jubilee. The small European countries of the Kingdom of Alabast. I don't know what the fuck's going on. And the Republic of Babel. These two countries used to be a single entity that was abundant with nature. And it was called the Principality of Cadopia. Everything alright? Yes. Alright, moving on. After a period of civil unrest, the country split in two through signs of their past remain. For example, their flags preserve flower and butterfly motifs to this day. Cadopia, huh? The KG8 incident, and what was referred to as the second KG8 incident. So that actually split the country apart, in which the embassy staff was murdered. Both of these cases were related to the Principality of Cadopia. In the 7 years that have passed, the country may have split into two. However, the Yatagarasu still sent a chilling card here. What could it all mean? Mr. Edgeworth, I know you're thinking about something. Excuse me, what were you talking about again? If you could please stop spacing out on me. Anyway, we were talking about the Alabasta versus the Babel Goodwill Jubilee. The two countries have had a pretty bad relationship with each other, but supposedly they've been trying really hard to make up recently. That's why they decided to hold this event. If that's the case, then why the versus? Also, both countries claim to own the real primitive statue, a national treasure to both. They're planning to have them publicly evaluated today to see which one's the real deal. Okay, need I remind you to take care of and not succumb to your thieving desires? Well then, when it comes to treasure, I can't help myself, you know that. She had better be saying that, hey, I can read your body language, you know. You've got it all wrong. Look, I'm here to do some investigating. Investigating, I tell you. I know. And although we don't know if the Yatakaros will really make an appearance, I suppose you're still supposed to be kind of examining this place. What do you want to do? What do you want me to do? Hey, yo. I know you. Photographer. Okay, so like all these people are irrelevant. Hello. 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 The flag? Should there be a flag over here? Yes, there is. Hello. Okay. There's a very festive atmosphere in here. Yep, super festive. I'm really happy for the King of Alabasta and the Republic of Babel. It's great that they have re-established diplomatic relations. The newspapers say they look like they're Philadelphia again. Perhaps we're bearing witness to a historic moment in time. Hey, look. They're selling some commemorative merchandise to celebrate this event. Founders Cadopia biscuits. And over here, they're selling Royal Cadopia biscuits. It would seem that they have yet to reconcile their competitive spirits. And what else? What else? What do we do? Can we go in? Pamphlets. Oh. Theater New Trails. Looks weird to me. Country split in two a few years back. And they've shared this building and its grounds 50-50 ever since. Well, I guess it means they don't have the money to build two separate ones. Really? What is this corruption? I suppose I'll just help myself to one of these. What's all the hubbub? Look, it's the Seal Samurai. And he's got his son, the Iron Infant. He got a son? Married man of Neo or Tokyo. Here it goes, off to spread goodwill to the world. Really, he really does seem like a goodwill ambassador, doesn't he? Okay, we're shooting the next segment. Now cue camera. In just a few seconds, Jammin Ninja's stage show is set to begin. After the show, the Jammin Ninja will enter the Republic of Babel. He is set to meet with the ambassador of Babel at that time. The Jammin Ninja show is about to start. We gotta get back to our seats. Regrettably, I don't have much of an interest in ninjas. Well, this show will change your mind. Come on, we have to hurry. If we miss even a second of the Jammin Ninja's awesome playing, I'll never forgive you. I suppose you're not about to give me much of a choice here, are you? I could listen to that A Ninja Mark for Death's lullaby song all day. His superb playing and that sad melody really brought a tear to my eye. And this heart-wrenching voice, now that's Jammin Ninja's greatest weapon. Ah, those pieces of Jammin Ninja merchandise over there. Gotta have them. I also want the hair sticks. They're exactly the ones on the heroine Princess Missoula wears in her hair. Anyway, hold it right there, Mr. Edgeworth. Yes? You're thinking of going home, aren't you? Well, it doesn't seem like the Yatagarasu will be making an appearance tonight. More likely, it was simply a prank. No way, I just know the Yatagarasu will show. But I thought you said that the Yatagarasu doesn't send calling cards. Yeah, I did, but I figured from the very beginning that this would wind up being a wild goose chase. But that card she sent was a genuine fake calling card. Genuine fake. Well, how can I word this? The Yatagarasu's marks that's on the calling card is exactly the same as my mark. Get it now? We got a problem. Someone's dead. Someone's dead. Is it Steel Samurai? Yatagarasu has been spotted in the Alabast. What? You hear that? So you finally decided to sell yourself. Hey, what gives? Sorry, but I will need to search you before you may enter. What? Hey, the Steel Samurai just waltzed right through without one. Now, if you don't hurry up and let me through, my phone is going to escape. Okay, a country's embassy is considered to be part of the country itself. If you don't go through the proper procedures, Mr. Edgeworth, I'm going to enter through Babel and climb over the wall to the Alabast.
Hold it!
Would you tell a prosecutor straight out that you intend to illegally enter? Illegal immigrant! Okay, are you listening to me? Okay, Faraday? And I'm coming through. Yes, and welcome. Someone help stop her. Anyone. March 14th, 6/12, open air stage. Okay, where are you? Don't tell me you really did find some way over this fence. Fire! This is too big for us to handle. Looks like the Yatagarasu came to Babel too. You accursed Yatagarasu. Okay, you had better be alright, wherever you are. And that's the trailer, right? That's what we saw at the beginning. Sheena. I told you it wasn't me.
Hold it!
Hold it. Okay, are you alright? Do I look alright to you? Now, can you do something about this woman? Mr. Edgeworth, Detective Gumshoe, what is the meaning of this? Well, sir, it's, this. Hey, he's dead? The guy from episode 4. It wasn't me. He was already dead when I ran in here, hot on the heels of the fake Yatagarasu. Look, I only came in here because I saw a suspicious person at the open air stage. A suspicious person? A long black coat and a hood over his head. I dare you to tell me that's not suspicious. When I saw that person, I immediately thought that they must be a fake Yatagarasu. So I chased them after into the embassy, then into here, then lost sight of them. But I just know that person is the one who did it. But it worked over. There's no reason for you to be this loud. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you're Agent Lang's secretary. Sheena, I believe your name is, correct? And you're making an arrest. I assume you have the evidence that it was Kay who committed this crime. Is that also correct? You refuse to answer. I don't need to answer. You are merely a prosecutor in this country, meaning you have no investigative authority. Hey pal, just what the heck? If it happened here, it's under Mr. Ashworth's jurisdiction. The end. Seeing as how the building is sitting on our story, we can investigate wherever we like. Unfortunately, Detective, embassies are a different matter. This office is considered to be a part of the Republic of Babel, which means that anything that happens here defaults to the control of the Babelese government and Babelese law, giving them exclusive extraterritorial rights. Extraterrestrial, rights? Sir, do you really believe that truth is out there? Basically, our country's laws do not apply inside the embassy of another country. That's what we agreed to by our respective governments. Our authority to investigate was effectively nullified the second we entered this place, which means we can do little here in this situation. No way, sir. Please leave this matter in Interpol's hands and go home. Mr. Edgeworth. Hey, you're not... Mr. Edgeworth, hold it. Lane? Agent Lane? No, never mind. Franziska. Miss Von Karma. Ambassador Palladino, I truly appreciate you allowing me to join your investigation. It's really nothing. Manny was my secretariat. So of course I want to help you as much as I can. Alright, who do we have so far? Colias, Palladino, Manny. He was a secretary. Secretariat. Apparently was a good man. This is all we have. Franziska. Well, I never imagined I'd meet up with you of all places. This is an embassy, meaning you have no authority to conduct. Hold it. Already? What is it? Ambassador Palladino. Yeah, you are? I'm Miles Ashworth, public prosecutor. I ask that you please allow me to investigate this case as Ms. Von Karma's assistant. Oh, I'm her assistant now. Miles, what the heck do you think you're... You were my assistant, right? Now I get to be yours. Please, I implore you, Ambassador Palladino. Very well, I'll be counting on the two of you, Ms. Von Karma and Miss Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth. What did you mean by you'll be Ms. Von Karma's assistant? I don't exactly have a choice, do I, Detective? If I don't become Franziska's assistant, I can't participate in this investigation. There you go again, running at the mouth with the aloof expression. Just whip me. Just give me the whip. Alright. Franziska, please, just whip me and let's move on. I don't know what you're planning quite yet. But at least I do know one thing, that you are now my subordinate. Alright. Just remember that my whip is always ready to wake you, should you have a brain lapse. Of course, I'll keep that in mind. If you're done playing games. Right, let's begin the investigation. By the way, Detective, I suppose it's a bit too late to be asking, but why are you here? Well, better late than never. I was placed on guard duty for the Babelese embassy today. Why are police guarding an embassy? Well, on account of the card they got from the Yatagarsu. So what country are we from? I was on guard duty for the Babalese embassy today. So we're from Babalese, right? They called us up and asked for our help, sir. Oh, and because you've been searching for the Yatagarsu these past 7 years, it was more or less mutually beneficial arrangement if you ask me. Except for how mutually unbeneficial this has all turned out to be, I suppose. It looks like you failed to competently perform your guard duty again. Look forward to your next salary negotiation, although it's out of my hands. But sir, if it gets cut anymore, I won't be able to buy even instant noodle. Again? He's still eating instant noodles? Bro, give him the raise. Just give him the raise. This poor dude.
Hold it!
What? Wait, what did I just put in my evidence? Both countries claim to own the one national treasure only ambassador and secretary can touch. Steel Samurai's autograph to Mr. Ashworth. Steel Samurai. Daddy. Worried man of Neo Old Tokyo. I was investigating the Alabestian embassy when I got wind of this mess. That's right. The Yatagarsu was due to appear at the embassy as well. Yes, but the difference is that we didn't have a fire over there, although there was an incident at the Alabestian embassy as well. But I left Agent Ling in charge of that case and came over to the Babalese embassy. Yes, so Agent Ling is there as well. So you've met. Well, he's in the Alabestian embassy acting as a bodyguard for Ambassador Alba. However, he seems to have a different reason for being there. So the suspect of the murder occurred in his office as a little girl, I see. Is she perhaps trying to be the Yatagarsu? No. She would never hit us all. Oh. Okay. You remember, do you not, about the case we were investigating 37 years ago? That girl was the daughter of the victim in the case, Mr. Faraday. So she's that feisty little girl. Little? You're like 3 years apart. She has been in the trail of Yatagarsu, which is how she ended up here. Looking for the one who took her father's life. I see. Kay's trying so hard, but you know what? The Yatagarsu just keeps on tricking us all. Ah, how so? You sent this card saying, I will be there to steal your dirtiest secret. But all we've got is an arson and murder. The lab boys are going in circles. You know what this is, sirs? It's a breach of contract. And it's going through rap sheet. If you ask me, I'm perfectly fine with the fact that nothing was stolen tonight. I do wonder, though, if Callisto Yu really is the Yatagarsu. Where's the check mark? Can't believe many fell in love with these. Oh, I'm sorry, but we'll be making some proposals to accept the bribe. Oh no, these are simply coupons we distribute to promote Babel. Remember, we offer a very large number of discounts and offers when you visit lovely Babel. Now I remember, the Republic of Babel is known for its feverish tourism industry. Manny Koshin. I was wondering if you might tell me a bit about the deceased Manny Koshin. He was my secretary, and the embassy secretary charged with running the whole thing. Wait, who is he? Who's this dude? Ambassador. Okay. He was an admirable man. His death is a great loss to our country. He was in charge of everything, accounting, printing, taking care of national treasures. Sorry, but did you say printing? Our country's primary source of revenue is our tourism industry. So in order for us to print the necessary pamphlets, flyers, coupons, etc., we have a printing press here at our embassy. I see. Please excuse my forwardness. However, I feel I should mention I have the distinct impression that I've met him before. Yeah, just from the last episode. Since you're of the legal profession, I suppose you might have. After all, Manny was involved in the KG8 incident. KG8 incident? Yes, the defendant who was found innocent in that case was Manny. Oh yeah. Yes, that one. Then he recovered personally from the police and dove enthusiastically into his job. He was the one who planned this event and was to oversee this embassy's renovations. It really is a shame. He had a bright future ahead of him. Renovation. What exactly did you mean by renovations? We can't have visitors to our embassy think we're a poor nation, can we? So renovating the embassy is something of an investment. We may have a rather paltry budget, but we're trying our best to make do. However, I guess the only person who could have helped us do our best now no longer with us. What? Where's the check mark? Where's the check mark? I have to show her something. Where's the check mark? Alright. A knife's missing. It's a feature of these knives where you can freely exchange the handles on them, so that we can change how they look to fit the situation, of course. So these knives were constructed so that the handles could be easily removed. It's a butterfly. You don't think I did it? Of course I don't. And I promised to prove that I wasn't you. That's enough chit-chat. You can investigate all you like, but it's only a matter of time before we take her in. I must prove her innocent. Wait, I can still talk to him. Where's the check mark? Give me the check mark. This was Kojin's office, so perhaps he stored his most important documents in here. Of course, it's locked. It can't be opened without the key. It appears we won't be able to open it without a key. So our victim was the secretary of the embassy, I take it. Manny Kojin, I heard that he was an admirable person. The cause of his death is a stab to the base of his neck. He was lax in watching his back. Get the autopsy. We're not gonna bullshit this way through. Just get the autopsy so we know when he died and how he died. We were fortunate that the fire missed our victim's body for the most part. If the fire had burned a bit longer, it would have made identifying him a hassle. So Kojin was stabbed to death in the middle of the raging fire. What in the world happened inside this room? Single stab. Oh, there's the key. Oh! The knife. Butterfly knife. Key knife. What? But that's 7 years ago. You mean that case where I was framed, sir? Detective Gumshoe was never really framed, right? Like, he was never prosecuted. He was accused for like a brief time and then everyone apologized. What? Mr. Faraday was killed with excuse, sir? I thought that he was killed with a knife. Scruffy, at the very least, try to remember the details of the crime you were suspecting. As you recall, Detective Gumshoe was not present when Miss Yu made her escape. Plus, even among law enforcement, only a few knew of the key's existence. I doubt that a new rookie at the time would have been made privy to such knowledge. I feel like a victim right now. I suppose how you feeling now. Secret to the key is... right there. Oh, that's amazing, sir. Some kind of a magic trick. But it's not the knife he was killed with. I knew it. Same exact piece of evidence that Miss Yu took with her. I remember this beautiful pattern. I remember this as well. It's a vine motif. Yes, it looks like two interwoven vines. Vines, sir? I think it looks like a bunch of stars, if you ask me. I really don't think you can call these stars. To say the detective art sense, the real question is, why was the Babyliss Embassy Secretariat holding to this? We don't know how Mr. Koshin came to possessing this key. We do know that this was stolen by the Yatagarasu from the Kodopian Embassy. That's right, Mr. Faraday had written that fact down in his organizer. I believe this means that further research is required into the embassy, Kodopia. Why don't you ask Ambassador Paleno about what he knows? Supposedly he was a candidate to be the next Kodopian embassy once long ago. It's a knife wound. So obviously he was killed with, but I wonder if it's consistent with the wound. Just get an autopsy, bro. Knife murder weapon? Some preliminary testing can be conducted. According to results, the blood on that matches the victim's blood. The blade shape was also found to be consistent with the stab wound. I suppose this means we know that the crime was committed with this knife. The knife scars are really artsy to me. Although it's also covered in blood, just like the last thing that I said was artsy. But the handle is pristine. There's not a single drop of blood on it. Speaking of the handle, I believe it has a butterfly motif. Very beautiful. What is this? Ceiling fan must have fallen down. Ceiling fan? What does one of those do? Exactly what it sounds like. It's a fan that is installed in one side. Do you not know what it is? If I had one of those in my room, I bet I'd go dizzy from staring at it as I slept. In the real world, we close our eyes when we sleep. Kodopia. Ambassador Paleno, I was wondering if I ask you about Kodopia. Kodopia? Alright, what would you like to talk about? First, I'd like to ask you about this key. What about this key? I found it sticking out of Koshin's pocket. I believe it was originally belonged to his embassy. Is that correct? Upon closer inspection, it seems that this key is shaped like a butterfly. That's not all about this key. It's also capable of changing into a knife. How fascinating. Is it possible that the ambassador didn't know about the existence of this key? In its knife form, there is a flower mark at the base of the blade. I guess this knife might be from when we used to be a part of Kodopia. Hold it! And how did you come to that conclusion? It has both of Kodopia's national symbols, the butterfly and the flower. I suppose Manny used this key here at the embassy back when we were still Kodopia. Ambassador Paleno, this key was stolen from the Kodopian embassy 7 years ago by Callisto Yu, otherwise known as the Great Thief Yatagarasu. Really? You were not aware that Miss Yu had broken into this embassy at the time? I'm sorry, it can't be much of help. I'm not familiar with details. I only became ambassador after Babel became its own independent nation. But if Manny were still alive, he would probably know about what happened back then. Kosh and Missy knew each other 7 years ago. But that doesn't explain why I found Hatakarsa's key here in the present. I've read this. I clicked A on accident. Alright. Anything? Nope. How to make logic, I guess. Locked safe, butterfly shaped card. Something about the butterfly? Maybe. The design on the knife's handle greatly resembles the babbly species of butterfly. It does, doesn't it? Plus, it says right here, the knife is property of the Republic of Babel. Perhaps this means that the knife used in the crime was found right in this room. Keys at the embassy? And this key? Maybe it's the key. It is a key too, right? We know for a fact that the Hatakarsa's keys was used at the embassy. Furthermore, we found it in the victim, Mr. Kojin's pocket, which leads me to think that perhaps it is the key to the personal safe in his office. Good thinking, sir. Let's try it out. It appears I was correct. The key that was left to us in the victim's pocket is literally the key that turned out to be the key to the next piece of the truth. What do we have here? Nothing. No. We need to take a closer look. Ripped corner of a piece of paper. I don't think it's ripped. It's more stuck inside the safe. You're right. It won't budge an inch. Not even when I tug on it. But I don't think I've ever seen a paper stuck on the inside of a safe. Detective, we have it backwards. It's not the paper that's strange, it's the safe. Maybe it's a hidden component within the safe. What I mean is that it has 2 compartments. Even just eyeballing, you can see that the inside is a bit too shallow. Furthermore, with the unnatural way the paper is stuck at the bottom back of the safe, I say there is an extra bit of space. In other words, this safe has a second compartment. What? I suppose that you are correct. However, if you say is correct and there is a second compartment, how do we go about opening the door then? Actually, there is one more spot of interest. Oh, the keyhole to our mystery second lock. The safe and its lock. Alright then, since you're so sure of yourself, show me how you deduced your answer. There's a hole here. Just a little odd shape for a latch hole. Wow, that's a funny shape. It's shaped kind of like a star, don't you think? Detective, I would hardly call that a star. So maybe, nah, there's no way I could have read that. No. Detective, could you please quiet down for a second? Frightening me. Alright, anything else? No. Ah, no. Fuck. I keep pressing V. Looks like this area safe. It's not square big inside. Alright, we're gonna do something. Is there anything that resembles this shape? Wait a minute. Doesn't that look familiar? Do you like jam it with a knife? Claims to see a star motif on it. Aha. Ha. Let's jam the shit in. Doesn't the shape of this keyhole remind you of something, Franziska? The shape looks familiar. However, I believe it's a latch hole. It's just for keeping the door shut, nothing more. Is that so? The person who used the safe made sure the safe had 2 compartments in order to hide something. Do you honestly think that someone like that would allow a keyhole to the hidden half to look so obviously like a keyhole that even the average person could figure it out? Can't be serious. Are you saying that this hole is the keyhole to the hidden compartment? That's precisely what I'm saying. And I would prove to you right now that the Yatakurusa's key is the key that will open. Stop using that fucking pun. It's been 7 fucking years. This had better be a very bad joke. He is. This is no joke. You make a lot of puns, bro. The very key that open. Just use it. Just use it. Just. The real function of the key knife portion is to act as the key. But that's preposterous. Just fit the key. Just put it in. Hurry up, man. That's what I'm saying. Oh. The items. It's a bunch of funny shaped things. I guess they're... Now move, Scruffy. These pieces of art. They're identical to the ones that have been stolen from various countries around the world. I figured as much. These are the treasures. Safe was high from the view. I believe a more thorough examination is required. I was telling you, from where did you steal the key? Document. Beats me. Can you read it? Your coach's name is written on the last page. There's more. Alright, is that it? Yes, it is. Alright. Got anything else? Nope. To steal your dirtiest secret, is it possible that the dirty secret Yatakurusa without the stealing your very own? Dirty secret? Franziska, you're in pursuit of some dirty, underhanded dealings yourself, are you not? In that case, the person I'm looking for is here in the Babylon's embassy, the head of the smuggling operation. Alright, finally. When we last talked, there were a trail of a smuggling ring. I suppose the reason we're here right now is related to that? Yes. After analyzing the intel we gathered from various countries, this embassy rose to the top of our list as to investigate. And this is what tipped us off. The accounting document is the only one page of the whole thing, so we're not sure about all the details. However, it's enough for us to grab onto the tail of the beast. You see, the type of paper was only made in the Principality of Cadopia, which means that somewhere in the country of Elgas and Babel is the head. That's 2 countries, man. It's not just one city, it's 2 fucking countries. Franziska, for you, she's amazing in pursuing this case with all she has. Alright, what else? Wait. Something? Oh. These shelves are lined with American souvenirs. American? So why are so many American souvenirs? That's American souvenirs? They went to America? Perhaps the Babalese are studying American culture? They have plans to make Babalese tourism. Then why would they need to observe and study other countries' methods, I suppose? Speaking of tourism, I got these from the blonde guy earlier, sir. He said if they bring these with me to Babel, I can trade them in for a few buffets. There's still burnt objects scattered on the floor. Oh, burnt. Are we done? Oh, fireplace. Some fireplace, you know, it really gives the place a mansion-like quality, doesn't it? If these are staples in every Babalese house, then I bet Santa Claus pays them a visit too. What? Butterfly. The blade has blood on it. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Alright, shut up, man. Yeah, that's the knife. That's where the knife came from. Alright. Let me do something. Two out of 3. Wait, look at this one. Show me the picture again. 1 and 3. Yep, there it is. I got the other piece. Take a good look at these documents, Francisca. It says that there are 3 pages in total, and yet there are only 2 here. Correct. Now take a look at your smoking activity document in your possession. Tell me, is it not possible that your page was taken from the set? Well, it certainly looks that way. By putting our multi-part puzzle together, we seem to have arrived at an answer. It seems that you have now found what you were looking for. Yes, and with this, it has become crystal clear that Mr. Push himself is responsible. Babalese ink is a special product. However, due to special reason, only a limited volume is ever exported.
Hold it!
And that reason is it's classified. It's on a need-to-know basis, and you don't need to know. In any case, it seems that his spoken very well a victim. His base was in an embassy, thus it was hard for both countries, for our country and his to interfere, making it the ideal conditions under which to run a smuggling operation. But it's so frustrating. Lost the person I was to bring judgment down upon with my whip of justice. Well, even if he is dead, we still have a responsibility to look into his mysteries. You expect me to whip a dead man? Well, I'm not interested. Francisca, you must know that Manny Kochin was the suspect in the KG8 incident. Of course I know. On top of being the head of the smuggling ring, there is a matter of what really happened in that case that needs to be resolved. We're done. Are you done investigating? You realize, don't you, that this girl is the only one it could be? Now come along quietly, Kay Faraday. Under arrest for the murder of Minnie Kochin. Ashworth, please, you have to believe me. I didn't do it. I chased a fake Yatagarasu here, and he was already. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say will be used against you. I'd like to help you reduce the number of mistaken arrests under. What is that supposed to mean? I believe I told you that Kay Faraday is not the culprit of this crime. Very well. I suppose I have no choice. I'll show you how foolish your claims are. Alright. Why arrest Kay? Rebuttal. Even your police confirms that Yatagarasu infiltrated the Babylonis embassy tonight. Utilizing confusion caused by fire, the Yatagarasu stuck into this embassy. Furthermore, the school claims to be the Yatagarasu. It wasn't Martin other than her. There was no one else here with the body.
Hold it!
Just press that. Sounds the most suspicious. Even so, I'd still listen to what the other person has to say. Yeah. Are you worried about yourself in those times when you were under suspicion? I think the pain of being falsely accused is something you really should experience. I personally know the feeling really well. Multiple times. Given the situation, I know exactly what it's like too. I'm fine with never experiencing it ever. Are you done with your little group conference? So Agent Shina suspects Kay of murder simply because Kay is a Yatagarasu. But if I can prove that the Yatagarasu girl is not related to the murder, then I may be able to begin reasoning with her.
Hold it! Hold it!
Oh, she wanted to say that, and so she killed Mr. Kochin for the key. Alright, we present here. She wanted to steal the documents regarding the smuggling ring, so she killed Mr. Kochin for the key. Documents, smuggling ring, it appears to point to Mr. Kochin. Documents related to smuggling of Babylonis, it appears to point to Mr. Kochin. Should I do that?
Objection!
Okay. Agent Shino, I regret to inform you, but there is a flaw in your logic. Given your claim that she is the killer and the Yatagarasu, I am certain that securing the smuggling documents is not a motive behind the murder. The key to the safe in this room was found on Mr. Kochin's body. Furthermore, the Yatagarasu would not be so stupid as to leave without the documents. By the simple fact that the documents were still in the safe when we looked, it's obvious that the killer's target was not the safe at all. And perhaps she didn't know that Mr. Kochin had a key on him.
Objection!
If that's the case, then why would she have needed to kill him? Because I can think of no reason for her to kill him if she had known that fact. Need, reason. All of this simply our conjecturing after the fact. It's entirely possible that she accidentally killed him when she was sneaking in. Perhaps she didn't notice the safe second compartment before returning the key. But the fact still remains that Mr. Kochin was stabbed to death. But you have no definitive proof that it was Kay who committed the act. Actually, I do. I saw her holding the knife she used on the victim with my own eyes. What? Allow me to tell you a bit more about the evidence that will put her away behind bars. You gotta believe me. I saw a suspicious man. I swear. When you came in here because you were chasing this. That's right. I ran into his office only because I was chasing after that person. But when I entered the room, it was pitch black. I couldn't see a thing. I felt something on the ground next to my foot, so I turned the lights on. Who's there? I came to this room upon hearing the girl scream. And when I saw her holding the knife, I immediately restrained her. So the object Kay felt by her feet on the floor was a murder weapon? I had the knife analyzed right away, but we failed to find anyone's prints on it. Suspicious person in black coat who came to the room before me. You continue to insist there was such a person, but if there was, where did they go? I don't know. Like, there's the windows, there's the door, there's the fucking fireplace, anywhere, literally. That sounds like a desperate excuse. You understand, don't you? We can't trust this girl's words. She has a point. Even if Kay's words are the truth, I must show that they are with solid evidence. I wrote in, Kay, don't worry. If you didn't do it, there must exist a way for me to prove that. Still not giving up. In that case, try to counter my argument if you can. Don't worry, I will. The knife wound in the body is consistent with the blade of the knife. The knife with the butterfly handle is the murder weapon, which the killer was holding. Killer was holding? I assume she obtained the knife from the display rack and used it on the victim. The knife is part of a special 3-piece set, which has a design on the leather that was in testimony all points to the door.
Hold it! Objection! Hold it!
Mr. Ashworth, do you have some kind of evidence that can prove anything? I think I do, because there's going to be evidence to find it interesting. The knife with the butterfly handle is the murder weapon. The body wasn't badly burnt by fire, covered in victim's blood, same as the wound. Okay.
Hold it!
The knife is part of a special 3-piece set, which has a design on the leather. About the 3-piece set, is there really no other like it? Because they're the only 3 of them in the world. They're very, very just make another one. National symbol, huh? Or the knives are covered in butterfly design, along with the alabaster set. Our respective countries only have 3 knives each. I see. Are you satisfied now? Let's continue.
Hold it!
There is no counter-argument. No, I believe there is room for debate, and no, thank you. Could not decide that way.
Objection!
Agent Sheena's proof is the Babylon's knife that Kay was holding. Yeah, so, how are we gonna prove that Kay didn't do it? If Agent She was suspecting it because of Kay was the only one cured, then I must show evidence evidence. There's one piece of evidence that seems very unnatural to me, and I believe it's my duty to point out. The butterfly knife handle is the murder weapon which the killer was holding. It's gotta be this, right? Let's try it.
Objection!
Cool. So the murder weapon was the knife with the butterfly design on it, but is that really the truth? What you getting at? I'd like for you to take a look at this. There is blood on the blade, and yet there's not a speck of blood on the handle. This signifies that at the time of the crime, a different handle was attached to this blade. The knife that Kay was holding had its handle switched, and was in fact not the real murder weapon. The knife can be taken apart. Shall we go? Shall we give it a go? You see, the bamboo ring has now been assembled into parts. Killer must have pulled the murder weapon out of the victim's body and proceeded to swap the original handle with the butterfly one. It was all through conclusion that Kochin was killed with the butterfly-themed knife. This should clear up any and all suspicions surrounding Kay. Your argument isn't airtight yet. How so? It's possible that the girl herself is the one who switched the handles. Ridiculous. For what purpose would she do such a thing? I don't care to know how a criminal thinks. The way they view the world beyond the comprehension of a normal person like me. You're not normal. You ain't normal, bro. Therefore, I wouldn't put anything past them, no matter how odd it is. The truth is right there in front of you, and this knife will show you the way. You will come to see that Kay could not have been Mr. Cookin's killer. What's this mark here? It's the mark of a flower. I assume you know what this means? No, not really. Butterflies rest in flowers all the time to drink the nectar. And so they do. Would this butterfly really drink the nectar of this flower? Not a chance. Now, to prove the relationship between the butterfly and the flower with this. Right there. No. Right here. Butterfly. We discovered this trick some years ago, but who would have thought this came? The butterfly design?
Take that!
The butterfly and the flower with this.
Take that!
Okay, never mind.
Take that!
They all mean the same fucking thing.
Take that!
You can't be serious. It appears that you've made the connection. The flower display is designed after a certain country's national symbol. That's right. The Kingdom of Alabist. In other words, this blade is from the Alabist ornamental knives. This part of the knife, the handle, butterfly, Therefore, it is undeniably Babyliss. But as you both know, you can't kill someone with a knife handle. Incidentally, when exactly did the murder occur again? After the fire had broken out. That's right. He entered the Babyliss embassy after the fire had taken place. Furthermore, she had not been to the Alabastian side of the building before then. On top of that, not a single person passed between the two countries during the fire, which means that Kay could not have transported an Alabastian object over there. This makes it impossible for her to be the true killer. Well, way to go. What a great victory. Huh? Why is everyone quiet? I'm happy we got this far and cleared Kay's name, but what worries me is what will happen next. What is the meaning of this? Alabastian knife here. Do you mean, how did this find its way to the Republic of Babel? It didn't just find its way over there. Rather, we should focus on how it was smuggled over. You know what? My brain hurts thinking about it while we're just standing around. Thinking while you're on the run, now that's the way a real great thief operates, okay? Oh, thanks a bunch for proving me innocent, I mean. You believe in me the whole time, right? Tell me you did. Not really, but come on, you didn't have to be shy about it. Hold it. Your argument is still not airtight. Would you care to elaborate? I understand now that the girl didn't commit the murder. However, there's still a possibility that she is the Yatagarasu. That again, look. I am the real Yatagarasu. I'm not like the fake one that goes around setting flames. Whether they're the real deal or fake, it doesn't really matter. What I'd say is this. I have my suspicion that this girl is the one who started the fire. On what grounds do you suspect her of such a thing? She calls herself the Yatagarasu. That in itself is the most elegant proof. Nishina, yes, I have no intention of taking back any of what I've said. I am the great thief Yatagarasu, and I refuse to allow some impostor to claim that name as their own. The path of justice that my father pointed me towards, I will walk it the best I can. It's not good to be so stubborn. I hope you can understand that. Thanks a lot for your concern, Miss Sheena. Let me share something with you too, as a token of my appreciation. Those sunglasses totally do nothing for you, so I'll steal them from you the next time, okay? But, damn, bro. Well, I guess we better get going. Going to where? To the Kingdom of Alabas. If we don't go, we don't know for sure, right? I suppose not, but we won't get anywhere simply by sitting here and thinking. To see where the Alabastian knife came from, we'll have to pay the Alabastian embassy a visit. Understood. Alright. To be continued. Save. $17.42. $17.42. Alright. Just save this for next time. And I'm done.